hope you're enjoying Digital Science Saturday, Magnificent Monarchs. My name is Bree, and I'm the Community Science Specialist at the Pacific Grove Museum of Natural History. I'm going to talk to you about the monarch butterfly population and try not to get too into the doom and gloom of things, but offer different ways of how you can help the monarch population. Every year, hundreds of monarch butterflies spend the winter in groves of trees along coastal California, seeking shelter from cold winds and storms. Here in Pacific Grove, the western monarch butterfly migrates to our very own Monarch Grove Butterfly Sanctuary, where they hang in clusters from the eucalyptus, pine, and cypress trees, then fly around in the warm hours of the day to feed on nectar plants. Their migration to Pacific Grove is so unique that Pacific Grove is nicknamed Butterfly Town, USA. But in recent years, the western monarch butterfly population has declined.
The monarch butterfly is a widespread tropical insect that has a range as far north as Canada. In order to survive, monarchs migrate to safe overwintering sites that aren't cold enough to freeze them or too warm to tire them out. They're looking for a perfect Goldilocks site. Monarchs west of the Rocky Mountains migrate to locations on the central California coast. Monarchs east of the Rocky Mountains spend their winters in the high mountains of central Mexico. En route, they may travel as far as 2,000 miles, covering 100 miles per day, and flying as high as 10,000 feet. A mighty achievement for such a seemingly fragile insect. Here at the Pacific Grove Museum of Natural History, we collaborate with scientific organizations like the Xerces Society for Invertebrate Conservation. And every year we join in on the Western Monarch Thanksgiving and New Year's Count, which is a yearly effort of community scientists who collect data on the status of overwintering monarch populations along the California coast. This data informs policy decisions which will impact the future of the western monarch butterfly. It is unfortunate, however, the western monarch butterfly numbers have declined by over 99% since the 1980s, and the migratory population is at a high risk of extinction. In the 1980s, about 10 million monarchs overwintered in coastal California, while in 2019, fewer than 30,000 monarchs were counted. For decades, monarchs in the West have been in decline because loss and degradation of overwintering groves, loss of milkweed and nectar plants, pesticides, and climate change, as well as other pressures on their migratory cycle. But you may be wondering how you can help the monarch butterfly. Well, I have a few suggestions for you. You can plant native nectar-rich flowers. Adult monarchs depend on diverse nectar sources for food during all stages of the year, from spring and summer breeding to fall migration and overwintering. Monarch nectar and host plants often do best in open, sunny sites. Some examples of native nectar plants are sunflowers, black and desert sage, manzanita, and yarrow. Check out the Xerces website to know when the best time to plant is and what types of plants for your region. For those of you who live inland or 5 to 10 miles away from overwintering sites, you can also plant milkweed. Caterpillars are completely dependent on their milkweed host plant. But remember to plant native milkweed, like narrow-leaved milkweed or showy milkweed. Another thing you can do is reduce or eliminate pesticide use. Insecticides can be lethal to monarchs and other pollinators. Avoid planting nursery plants treated with insecticides. Or, for an alternative, you can buy organic.
If you want more up-to-date information, check out the Pacific Grove Museum of Natural History's YouTube page under Digital Science Saturday Magnificent Monarchs. We talked with two researchers from the Xerces Society of Invertebrate Conservation about planting for monarchs and pesticides, and spoke with a biological consultant all about monarch migration. I hope you enjoy the rest of Digital Science Saturday.